Questo è l'inizio dello sfogo annuale. Ogni crimine, incluso l'omicidio, sarà legale per le successive 12 ore. Tutti i servizi d'emergenza saranno sospesi.
Non puoi uscire. Sai che è pericoloso.
Ha mai pensato di ambientare il film in Europa o in Italia?
I think it's two questions. I think it definitely has a universal appeal in the way that Hunger Games has a universal appeal. I like the idea that it's the adult Hunger Games. I think the themes in it, however, are particularly American because very few other countries, and certainly no other country in Europe, has the relationship to guns and violence that America has. So it's a very American, I think, concept in terms of how violent it is. But I think the overall movie can translate all over the world.
Se lei si fosse trovato in una situazione come questa, in una situazione in cui tutto è permesso, ogni tipo di crimine, che cosa farebbe?
I wouldn't commit a crime. I would buy a ticket to Rome and come here the day before the purge and enjoy myself and not be anywhere near where they were purging. I think the purge is a great idea for a movie, but not a good idea for society.
Prima c'era il cinema, adesso c'è molta televisione, buona televisione. Sono due linguaggi, due ambienti diversi. Quale dei due, che differenze ci sono secondo lei e quale dei due preferisce?
I think the differences between the two are getting less and less, and I think that's only going to continue. I don't prefer movies or TV. There are certain shows, like True Detective is one of my favorite shows, whether it's a TV show or a movie, one of my favorite filmed pieces of content I've ever seen. So I really don't prefer one or the other. We work in both mediums, and it's really fun to go back and forth because in television you get to really explore character, whereas movies it's much more about plot because you have less time. So I really like being able to go back and forth, and I definitely think that one is not more valuable than the other.
Qual è stata la sfida maggiore che ha dovuto affrontare nella sua carriera?
The most difficult challenge I had is I'm 45 years old, and I was an executive until I was 30, until 2000, and then I quit, and I started making movies on my own, and I made a handful, 7 or 8 movies, 6 or 7 of which you've never heard of, and at the end of that time, after about 5 years, I was actually going to move back to New York. I had a very specific moment. I moved to LA, I was going to move back to New York, and I was going to do something else. And about 6 months right after I had that thought, Paranormal Activity came out. But right before Paranormal Activity was probably the lowest point in my career, and I was going to think about trying something else.
L'audience le fa i complimenti per i suoi film perché fino adesso sono tutti bellissimi e tutti molto spaventosi. Ma tutti noi vogliamo sapere quando ci sarà un prossimo episodio di Paranormal Activity.
So it's Paranormal Activity. If you count the marked ones as 5, this is the 6th one, or we're calling it Paranormal Activity 5. We start shooting the movie in September, and it will come out at some point in 2015. At some point next year, it'll come out, either next summer or next fall. So about 12 to 18 months from now, we'll see the next installment. And the next Paranormal Activity, the one thing that we're all determined to do is a lot of the movies have answered some questions. The next one is going to answer every question anyone has ever had about the mythology in Paranormal Activity.
A questo punto non rimane che ringraziarla a nome di tutti i suoi fan e tutta l'audience che la segue e ama i suoi film. Grazie per essere stato con noi.
So thank you very much.